it.
No, it's nearly the end of September.
I'm wrecked after running all the way over.
See, you need to get fitter.
I feel the flu coming on.
Oh, will you stop it? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Oh, my goodness.
Whoa.
It is the end of September. We thought we'd have a little bit more time before we discuss this, but you know what? Flu season comes really nearly with the school year.
It's here.
Yeah, and that's,
last
that's what we're
couple
going
of
to
weeks.
discuss today. It's true, but we're going to help you fight it here today. We're thrilled to have Boots pharmacist Paula Reilly back, who's going to help us with everything in the universe. Hello.
Hello, how are things?
Now, before
to
we
see you, Paula.
before we have a chat, though, guys, we did send our cameras out to the streets of Cork to find out, if you did get the flu, how bad was it? Have a look at this.
Yeah, I've had running nose, headache, fatigue, tired, run down, whatnot.
Have you ever considered getting the flu vaccine?
I have, and I got it last year.
Yes, I would, definitely for my age group. I would insist on having it because I need to have it. I have only one lung, so it's very, very effective.
No, I haven't. I've thought about it now that I'm getting older, but haven't needed to so far. You know, we suffer from the man flu, so I think that protects us from regular flu.
I can't believe you said man flu.
Oh, well, you know yourself.
Like it's a myth.
But they are talking about there the vaccination and I suppose the whole debate of whether you should get the vaccination or not and then who should get the vaccination. Paul, of course, Boots does the vaccination.
Yeah, absolutely. Across the country, there's a large number of pharmacies now that are vaccinating against the flu. And yeah, not everyone necessarily needs to get the flu vaccine. It's very much if you're in an at-risk group. So that would be anyone over the age of 65. If you have a chronic condition such as heart disease, if you have diabetes, if you're pregnant is also one of the risk categories for the flu vaccine, or perhaps you're a carer, a healthcare worker. There's a range of different people that would be recommended to get the vaccine.
There's always a myth going around that if you get the vaccination that you'll get the flu, that it gives you the flu. That's a load of BS, is it?
Yeah, that's not true. It isn't a live vaccine, so you can't catch the flu from the vaccine. You may have some mild side effects after the vaccine, but that's the same as if you were to get any vaccine. So, you know, your arm might be a little bit sore, a little bit red, and you might have a little bit of cold-like symptoms, but they generally
doesn't
subside.
give you the flu.
It cannot give you the flu, no.
Yeah, I suppose people, as though I said, that's the worst fear. But and if you are healthy, would you recommend getting the vaccine as a precautionary measure?
Being honest, the vaccine really is recommended for people who have those in that at-risk groups that have underlying conditions as such. If you're healthy, fit and well, then it's not necessarily needed to get it. Yeah.
Do people get mixed up then between the flu and having a cold?
Yeah, quite often they would get confused with them, but the flu, once you get it, you'll know the difference. It's a lot more debilitating, it comes on a lot more quickly, and you generally will be bedbound, aches and pains, whereas the cold, you can go on about your daily life, you might be able to continue working, but not if you have the flu.
They reckon, Paula, if you have the flu, that if there's a €50 note on the ground that you won't go over to pick it up, you'd be so sick.
Well, that's it, exactly. It's a big difference between it, and it's not until you get the flu, I think, that you realise the difference.
Also, as you said, the risk categories, one woman in the piece there we saw said, she only has one lung, so she needs to get it.
Yeah.
The reality is, if you're in one of these categories, the flu could lead on to something far more serious.
Yeah, absolutely. It can have serious debilitating effects if you do have an underlying condition and you get the flu. And I think people may not necessarily be aware of that. So I would strongly encourage anyone who is in an at-risk group to speak to your pharmacist. And especially if you're over 65, you are recommended to get it.
And does it really tend to come when the seasons change? Because I suppose the temperature's kind of changing now at the moment as well. We're going into longer nights as well. And then on the other side as well in spring going into summer.
Yeah, the viruses that typically cause the flu generally circulate in the winter months. So it's now that you really need to start thinking about getting vaccinated and protecting yourself before you get the flu down the line. So I'd encourage, as I said, people to go in now and start talking to the pharmacists about getting the vaccine.
Is there any point of getting it if you had the flu? While you have the flu? No.
Yeah, so every year you're recommended to get the flu vaccine because it's different strains of viruses that are circulating.
Changes every year.
Exactly. So even if you've had the flu before, you still would be recommended to get the vaccine ongoing.
Because the vaccine, I suppose they look at the flu strains that are around this year, isn't that it? And they base the vaccine on that, the most obvious ones that may occur.
Yeah, the most prevalent and most common ones that are circulating and they base the vaccine on that.
Now you have a different vaccine at the moment. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is the first year ever that actually pharmacies are also going to be vaccinating against pneumococcal disease.
Is this something different or new?
Yeah, it's interesting. We've done some research recently, and actually 1 in 2 people didn't know what pneumococcal disease was, or didn't know that actually.
Here.
Yeah, well, I don't say too because you wouldn't know. Yeah,
or didn't know there was a vaccine out there actually. So, what is pneumococcal disease? Well, essentially, it's a term used to describe a range of illnesses that are caused by a particular bacteria, and that's Streptococcus pneumonia, and that can cause many serious illnesses. So, pneumonia is one of the ones we're probably more aware of, but it can also cause conditions like meningitis, septicemia, bronchitis. So it's one definitely, again, that we need to increase awareness about, in particular, again, in certain at-risk groups.
We have to, though, just for people watching may think that if they get this vaccine, they're protected against meningitis. That is not the case. It's only a certain strain, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's numerous different bacteria that can cause various different strains of meningitis. The Streptococcus pneumonia bacteria that, as I said, is this vaccine is protecting against.
This is nothing to do with the flu jab now. This
is totally separate, exactly. And again, not recommended for everyone, only if you're in an at-risk category.
And you only take it once in your lifetime, is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So it's only generally once off that you would need to get it. Everyone over 65 should get it. There are certain people that may need to get a booster of it. And that would be perhaps if you're under the age of 65 and you have a chronic condition, you may need a booster after 5 years, or there's certain other reasons. But your pharmacist will be able to advise you. But in general, the majority of people will only need to get it once.
What about pregnant women?
So pregnant women aren't in the at-risk category for getting the pneumococcal vaccine. But that's not to say if they had an underlying condition or there was a reason why they should get it, then they can. Unfortunately, they can't get it in pharmacies, but they can still get it off their GP if there is a need there for it.
But you do it for at-risk people?
We just do it for at-risk people. So if you're healthy, unfortunately, no, it's just if you're in an at-risk group.
And how much do you pay for the 2 vaccines?
Yeah, so to get the flu vaccine, it's €20. However, if you have a medical card and you're in an at-risk group, it's free of charge and you don't pay it all in the pharmacy. For the pneumococcal vaccine, it's €29. But if you get the 2, there are options there available to you as well.
And of course, if you want to ask any questions about any of these at all, just go in and chat to the pharmacist. They'll tell you all that you need to know.
Exactly. Your pharmacist will be able to give you all the advice you need.
Just one question on the flu vaccine. If you have a cold, should you get the vaccine, or does that matter at all? If you have a cold at that time, should you put off the vaccine for a week?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So if you do feel unwell at the time, or if you have a temperature or anything like that, it is recommended that you wait till you're fully better before you come in and get the vaccine. Just so your immune system is fully is prepared to take the vaccine.
Paula, thanks very much. Great to see you.
Thank you.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, it is.
The young fella had the last couple of days.
Just the cold, is it?
Neighbours have it. It's all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Time of year.
Started so early.